Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oceanic Slapshot League. Tonight, back in the Pro Division, we have the Sydney Gafs going up against the Super Muscle Boys. Super Muscle Boys will be running probably with their usual lineup of Skits, Steezy, Godric, as well as Massive Legend, I believe, with Minisker also on the bench as well. So, quite a lot of players there in that lineup, pretty diverse. It's a good team. It's a good team. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can pull out, especially with rotations and just how much depth they've got within their team and just, you know, what they can do on the field with that. Meanwhile, we also have the Sydney Gafs, managed by Ended, the legend that he is, with players Zemix, Levy, and of course Amy, who, as much as I want to see playing tonight, I doubt we will be seeing playing. Still waiting on Amy's debut. Either way, going back to the team that's likely to run on the field for the Sydney Gafs, we've got Ended, who is a very aggressive and offensive player. Absolute legend of a man. He is a lethal force there, but he's also backed up by Zemix and Levy, both of which have a fair amount of experience in terms of back play, especially with Levy there. And Zemix is likely to fill in the gaps in the offense and the defense when need be. At the moment, I would probably favor the Sydney Gafs to go through past this one, the preliminary final, but it's Slapshot. Anything could happen with the Super Muscle Boys. Either way, I'll go ahead and put up the poll in case you guys want to see and guess. Take a look to see if you can tell who's going to win this one. Now, it is a best of 3, so we're likely in this for a bit of a long one, unless there is a clean sweep by Sydney Gafs or a reverse sweep by Super Muscle Boys. Either way, we're likely in this for 2 to 3 games. Oh, no, we are in this for 2 to 3 games. Either way, it should be a very entertaining match back in the Pro League. This is the last game that we have before we move on to the Grand Final, by the way. Grand Final for Pro League. That will be between the winner of this one and FPS, I believe. That sounds about right to me. So 2 very qualified teams going up against one another. It's going to be a real treat, that Grand Final. FPS have really ground their way up. They've worked like so hard from where they used to be in Open, I believe, a season or 2 ago. And now here they are in Pro League Grand Final. They've really put in the work and just put everything into this game. A lot of time and a lot of dedication. But there's still a lot of experience that the Sydney Gafs have. Pretty much all of their players have been in the league for a long time, multiple seasons plus. This could be a very, very interesting match. We'll get back into this one rather than the Grand Final. We've got Sydney Gafs going up against Super Muscle Boys. Should be starting pretty soon, actually. I just need to go ahead and find the lobby really quick. Hopefully, they have the lobby up and ready. Yeah, looks like they do. I just need the password then. I wonder where they've put it. Let's see. And then we'll get into the actual match once that's all good to go. Let's see here. Where have they put the password in? I don't think they've given me the password, have they? I'll have to DM someone. I'll probably DM Ended. Let's see here. Whoever's on top of my DMs list. Yep, it was Ended. Oh, no, hold on. Zemix has messaged me. Oh, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. And there's Ended as well. Very good. Hopefully this password does work. Have they started up a lobby? Yes, they have. Steezy's in an entirely separate lobby. That's what's going on. Okay. We'll go ahead and get the teams set up, so that way it should look right in the loading screen and the game and everything. And we'll go ahead and just switch over to this scene. Not much else to do other than, you know, just get into the game, I guess. Right now, lobby is only just started up for the Sydney Gafs. They're going forward with Ended, Zemix, and Levy as the usual lineup. And the Super Muscle Boys, I believe, are waiting in an entirely separate lobby. So we'll just either wait on them to join this one, or Gafs will switch lobbies. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the poll again. Right now, Sydney Gafs, 3 votes to Super Muscle Boys, 2 votes. Some people are looking for what I would arguably say is a bit of an upset here. I would personally tip the Sydney Gafs here in this matchup, but I am looking forward to seeing the Super Muscle Boys and seeing how they're going to work around this lethal team composition that they've got. Let's see it here. Still waiting for the Super Muscle Boys to join in. Hopefully they're probably just in a training match or a custom or something like that, or maybe a pubs, who knows. That's pretty likely. We'll go ahead and take a look back at the team lists again. I want to see if I can predict who their starting lineup's going to be. I reckon it really depends on, who's actually here to play tonight and everything, but I reckon that we're going to see Steezy, considering that he was in a custom not so long ago. Probably going to see Skits. Probably going to see Godric, and maybe a bit of Miniskirt here and there. Although I think that Miniskirt and it's either Miniskirt or Massive Legend, I reckon, to be the player on the bench. I'm not too sure who's actually going to start there. Probably Skits, Steezy, Godric. That's probably the lineup that we're looking for. Either way, still waiting on Super Muscle Boys. They're just really waiting this one out. Hopefully they find the lobby soon. Because I'm pretty sure... Ah, yeah, there it is. We coming. Thank you very much for the update there, Massive Legend. They are on their way. Probably just in a custom or something. Alright, girl. I'm almost certain that that's Miniskirt. There's Massive Legend. Okay, so Miniskirt, Massive Legend. Maybe Steezy? No, Massive's on the bench. There's Skits. Could we be seeing Godric being missed out on here? Maybe. We might actually... Godric might actually not be here to play tonight. Still waiting for Steezy to join in. Remember, this is a best of 3, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and remind people of that. A best of 3. So, if Sydney Gafs take the first 2 or Super Muscle Boys take the first 2, they go forward into the next game, which is the grand final, of course, which will actually cap off this season for season 11, really. So that is a huge, huge game to end on. Still waiting for Steezy to come in. It's taking a little bit of time here. Maybe Massive Legend might have to come in. Nah, there he is. There's Steezy. Alright. All players appear to be on their teams now. Sydney Gafs and Super Muscle Boys just haven't readied up yet. Looks like that the Super Muscle Boys will be starting with Miniskirt, Skits, and Steezy on the field. Meanwhile, the Sydney Gafs will be going forward with their usual team composition of Ended, Zemix, and Levy. We are in for a show tonight, boys. I should say boys and girls, huh? Either way, looks like that we're just waiting on 2 players to ready up. Just the one now. We're getting very, very close to getting on the field. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and hit the ready up button and just tell him that I'm all good to go. Alright. Skit's just taking a bit of time. It is what it is. Ah, here we go. We're about to start. Ended putting out the good luck, have fun. Absolutely, lad. You're about to have a good time watching this matchup here. Sydney Gafs versus the Super Muscle Boys. Starting off with some very, very laggy servers. I don't know if this is just me or if this is the game right now. This is interesting. Okay. Maybe I should just try rejoining them in that case, because they might be underway. Hopefully this doesn't mess with logs too bad. Come on. Yep, it was just me. Okay, cool. What a start to the game. 30 seconds in, and well, actually 0 seconds in, we already had our first bug. Either way, Steezy scoring a point. Some very good steps there. My apologies that we didn't get to see the start of the game, but regardless, we did see the first point of the match. Right now, Zemix taking possession of this one, looking to bring it back down behind his own goals. Goes over to Ended, who is back behind goals as well right now. Miniskirt coming up with that one. Levy looking to get a step around Mini. Goes over to Zemix. Zemix looking for a shot on goals. I thought that might be a pass, but Zemix nails it. Lovely stuff. Good pass from Levy as well. Levy and Skits on the face-off. Levy looks like he's going to be able to come away with this one. Maybe straight down the middle. Not able to get the line off. Ended trying to get the one away from Steezy. Not able to, though. Steezy coming up. Goes for a bit of a clear there. Not too sure if that was meant to be a pass or not. But regardless, it ends up back in possession of these Super Muscle Boys. A lot of back and forth at the moment, and some pretty high-quality plays so far. And ends up back with Ended again, going around to Levy in the back play. Levy, of course, is a huge lad when it comes to some of his passes upfield and stuff. Maybe not on that one. Skits took that pretty easily. A very, very clean intercept. Levy probably just not quite getting that one where he wanted it to go. Either way, it looks like that Steezy might clear this one over, and Zemix could rake this one back. Yes, he does, over to Ended. Ended coming up with this one, looking for a line. Goes over to Levy. Steezy, good intercept. Ended's back with Ended, who's trying to find another line over to Levy. Able to get it there, but being very, very harshly contested by Steezy. Skits right now with an opportunity to get it back down to the rest of his team. Ends up with Miniskirt. Levy trying to just bat this one away, causing a lot of disruption in the Super Muscle Boys offense there. Ends up with a pass from Zemix over to Ended. A clear and back with Zemix again. Skits harassing right now. Ends with Zemix running it over to Levy. Levy, good stuff there. Sydney Gafs looking to make a lot of connecting plays and a lot of passing, which is really where their offense comes in handy. But Steezy, absolutely lethal with those solo plays and runs. What a man. Zemix and Steezy on the face-off ends off in a clear, giving possession to Sydney Gafs right now. And some clean possession as well, letting Levy just give some time to Zemix and Ended to move up the field. Good intercept there by Skits, and it looks like the Super Muscle Boys won't end up with possession. Ended almost able to find a line there as well. Zemix might go for a pass up into the middle of the field. Levy has to go back down. Probably a shot, but didn't quite find the angle on that one. Skits, pass over to Steezy. Ended probably made the right choice there, just getting a little bit of disruption in on that play, and really just limiting Steezy's possession there. When Steezy gets the puck, he can be absolutely lethal in one-on-one scenarios, especially when his movement and mobility, as well as just skill with handling the puck as a player, is really put on show. That's when he's most lethal. Now, Miniskirt looks like he's going to have to clear this one over to either Zemix or Levy. Looks like Levy will take this one. And Miniskirt with the bumps ends up just batting Levy away from the puck. Oh my god. Unfortunate stuff there, but it looks like that Miniskirt just backed himself. It's another point to TSM. Skits coming through with a banger of a pass from Steezy there. Just around Levy. Sydney Gafs are looking like they're in a bit of a pinch at the moment. 3 points down. Oh no, this is a bit worrying for them at the moment. Some very high quality plays from the Super Muscle Boys, just making use of their extra men, just, you know, the routes that they got on the field. It's really, really helping out, especially the bumps that the Sydney Gafs just simply don't seem to be expecting. And there's another one! Steezy down to Mini over to Skits. They are just finding these lines and landing these angles like it's nothing. 1-5 Ended at the moment, trying to get some early points off of the face-off there, but Steezy comes up with it, going over to Mini. Back to Steezy again, looking to try and find a way around Zemix at the moment, but Zemix does put on some good pressure. Steezy just trying to worm his way around at the moment, not able to enter with a clear, going down to Levy. Levy at the moment looking for a pass over to Zemix. Good intercept by Steezy. Another opportunity for him to find an angle here. Not able to, though. Levy goes around over to Ended. Ended does manage to get it to drift close to goals, but just not quite fast enough. A little bit of a sharper shot there would have probably been a pretty good benefit for the Sydney Gafs there, but just not able to get it. Good pass over to Zemix, who's just not able to find a line. The defense from TSM at the moment is just limiting the offensive capabilities that Sydney Gafs have at the moment. Puck ends up with Ended, trying to look to get away from Steezy, but Steezy comes in with a good steal, and Zemix has to force this one out and back. Ended over to the center of the field, where Steezy will come in with it, and that is the end of the first period. Okay. Sydney Gafs are down by 4 points going into the second period. Now, I don't know if the Sydney Gafs just need to warm up or something here, but they are in a pretty big predicament, especially for the kinds of plays you'd normally see from Sydney Gafs. They're just not able to find these marks and lines that they've been looking for, and TSM, they're just splitting them open, just finding some really good lines here as well, some good built-up passing plays. And that one, I mean, Sydney Gafs will take it at this point. It was a little bit lucky of a rebound off of Skits, but either way, it's still a good angle and very, very crucial in a comeback for Sydney Gafs if they're still looking for it. Skits, though, harassing hard. Levy and Ended stuck defending right now. TSM just coming in with some huge just bumps here and takeaways. Ended unable to get the receive on that one, and Skits goes for a clear. Skits might come up with the puck here again. Looks like that Levy's going to have to try and play it safe. And Ended clears over to Zemix. He'll take this one back behind goals. No, he passes over to Levy, but it ends up in just a clear. Steezy securing some possession for Mini there. Just getting it back down behind goals. And Mini looking to get some statistics up in possession there. Ended comes in and just bats him away, and it just doesn't quite work out the way that he wanted it to. Either way, Zemix with possession right now. Sydney Gafs looking a bit better than they were before, but just still not able to find some of those lines. Levy being pretty big in defense at the moment, I believe. Going over to Zemix, not able to find a line either. Skits going up the field over to Steezy. Steezy has an opportunity here, and Miniskirt just not able to land on that puck there. Set up beautifully for him by Steezy, but just crept down the side where Miniskirt couldn't take it. Ended and Skits setting this one up for Zemix, but a good bump away. Gets the puck away from the goals. Good job there, Steezy. Levy looking for a pass over to Zemix. Doesn't quite land it. And he's back down at his own end of the field. Over to Zemix. Still looking for an opportunity to get it to the rest of his team. And he can get it to him. But it's just so hard for them to find these actual, like, offensive plays that they can take use of, that they can capitalize on. Because right now, TSM aren't leaving much room to work around, especially with Steezy coming in with that defense. My word. What a player this man is. Every time that I watch Steezy play, I swear, just his solo capabilities surprise me every time. And there it is, a Sydney Gafs team play. Zemix over to Ended, over to Levy in the center of the field. It's a classic for them. They've just got to work on pulling that off multiple times. They've really just got to iron it out this game. Looks like that they might have just been off to a rocky start, but TSM still have a big pressure lead on the Sydney Gafs at the moment. Their passing plays and just the amount of times that they've been able to get those steals and strips and takeaways, TSM just appear to be on top at the moment. But Sydney Gafs are slowly crawling their way back in, as seen on the scoreboard. 3-5 at the moment in the second period, with 2 minutes 20 seconds remaining. Levy ends up with this one at the moment. Steezy harassing, pretty huge, sits up for Skits, who's just not able to dive on it at the right time, or the right angle either. Ends up with Zemix again, after a close call in front of their nets. Ended back over to Zemix, ends up with Levy. He has to come in and try and maintain some possession here. Overturns over to Zemix again, I guess. Going for the shot. Miniskirt almost let that one in. That was close. Sitting in front of goals. Ended might be able to dive on that one. No, not quite. Ends up with Steezy running this one up on his own. But a good defuse there by Ended. Zemix going over to Levy. Not being given too much room to work with at the moment. A good pass, but probably not quite on point. I reckon that was meant to be a shot on goals there. Either way, can't expect Ended to rain those ones in all the time. Puck ends up with Levy at the halfway mark. Trying to look for a pass over to Zemix. Very gentle, and it ends up going back down behind TSM goals for Steezy to come up with this one. Now, Steezy's trying to be a little bit cheeky there, going down the short side of Ended, and it's sitting up in front of goals, actually. This is looking dangerous, but Levy with the long shot. Oh, Miniskirt just back in goals, was not able to handle that one. Just didn't see it coming. Levy is clawing them back into a range where they can win this game at the moment. Second period with a single minute left to go and a single point on the clock. Sydney Gafs will be looking to try and equalize this going into the third period. Just being equal in that third period is going to mean the world for them in terms of pressure. Because right now, with a point down, they've got to work for a comeback in that next period. And if they can equalize, then they just have to play a good period of slap. It's that simple for them. And if they can keep it simple and they can keep it, like they can keep up their passing plays and all of that experience that they've got, if they can just capitalize on it, then I think that they have a fairly solid chance to come back here. But TSM, they are just mounting the pressure, and honestly, they are the better team at this point in time. It's really impressive what they're able to pull off. Steezy goes for the clear, and Levy ends up with it. 10 seconds left to go. They want to hold on to this one and get the shot off, but not quite. It ends up with Zemix. I'm getting lost now. Levy trying to look for a way around Skits, and it's the end of period 2. It's very close. This is a very, very high-quality game here. Sydney Gafs probably not quite ready in that first period that they were playing, but the Super Muscle Boys have really just come in ready to play tonight. Honestly, a performance that I wasn't exactly expecting from TSM. Right now, Sydney Gafs with the puck at the moment. Levy goes over to Ended, not able to find the mark, didn't take the receive right. Might look for a pass, though, over to Zemix. Trying to get it to Levy again, maybe? Yes, he does, and it ends up in a bit of a clear. Bit of a tough shot there for Levy. Ends up with Zemix at the moment, trying to get around Miniskirt, who's just an absolute monster on the boards at the moment. Not able to get the receives, though. Right now, in terms of positioning, it looks like that the TSM have a lot of pressure in Sydney Gafs, really just keeping this puck down Sydney Gafs' end of the field, and it's really limiting their opportunities right now. Like, as you can see, even now, Skits is just forcing Levy to stay back behind goals. Ended. Very, very close call there, buddy. Levy ends up with the puck again. He seems to be getting a lot of possession right now, but Skits is just harassing. Ended comes in and gives him a good old bump, tells him to get the hell away from Levy, get away from my back player. Steezy behind his own goals at the moment, waiting to get around Ended. Looks like that he will. Takes the shot, and good defense there by Levy, trusting the line that he was marking, almost getting the point as well. Levy being a huge bloke tonight. Ended looking to get around. Whoa, that was an awkward angle. I don't know how that one came out like that. Levy at the moment, very close to center field, trying to get around Steezy, but Steezy, we all know just how deadly he can be in these one-on-ones. Perhaps one of the most talented one-on-one players in the OSL at the moment. Levy trying desperately to get around the rushing defense of TSM. Zemix getting that one over to Ended over to Levy. Levy opportunity, but the defense has closed in. Makes it even harder for him to work around. Ended being pressured hard by Miniskirt there. Levy goes for a clear over to Zemix. Zemix might look to center this one back up, but it ends up with Steezy running it. Steezy does get a good pass over to Miniskirt. He's not able to make the receive. Ends up with Levy right now, looking for a way around. Trying to get a pass off over to Ended. Ended with the good shot, but Steezy back in goals. Steezy's everywhere tonight. Again, another good block by Steezy. He is huge. Levy looking for a pass, ends up with Ended, not clean possession, but still able to get it back for a good pass by Levy. But the defense from TSM just keeps closing in on these lines here. With 2.5 minutes left in the match, Sydney Gafs are starting to have their back pressed up against the wall. They might lose the first point here in tonight's matchup. Zemix trying to look for a way to secure possession on this puck, but just not able to. Ends up with Levy. Levy does get around Skits this time around. He's learnt to handle the pressure. Ended going for a center/shot there, but not able to make it happen. Zemix going around on boards over to Ended. Ended looking for Levy. Levy trying to get around Skits. Does. Over to Zemix again. And a lucky bit of a rebound there off of the skull of Steezy. Ends up in points for Sydney Gafs. Equalized as well in the third period. Zemix at the moment off of the face-off, ends up with the puck. Yeah, he's able to get it set up again, but Steezy comes away with this one. Steezy looking for a line over to Skits, trying to make use of the wide field at the moment. And it's just a bit of a competition over there for the puck. Ended forcing it back down behind goals. Miniskirt and Zemix contesting. Zemix will come up with it over to Levy. Back down to Zemix, over to Ended. Might go back again. Pressure from Skits. Yeah, back down to Zemix. Now he'll be looking for a line. Ended and Levy have both moved up. No more players to go back to. Ends up with Ended taking the shot. A little bit too wide. Steezy rushing it on this one, but Levy looks like he will secure it for some more possession over to the Sydney Gafs. Levy, bit of an odd clear over for Ended, who tries to find that quick shot. Just not able to land that mark, though. Again, there's a few opportunities here and there from Sydney Gafs that, to be honest, I don't think many players could take. But it is sitting up for them occasionally. Like that, and Skits with the own goal. Oh, a little bit unfortunate there. Ended just slots it in almost perfectly, but it doesn't quite go in. And then Skits had an opportunity to save that. With 45 seconds left to go on the clock and 6 points, Sydney Gafs might be looking to play for possession here and just limit the amount of mistakes that they're making. If they overturn possession, they are giving TSM an opportunity to come back in this one. Oh, speaking of opportunities to come back, Levy in the defense there. That very well could have saved them the first point of tonight's best of 3. With 20 seconds left to go, though, and a lot of pressure being placed on the Sydney Gaff defense, TSM might just pull out a miracle goal here, a buzzer beater perhaps. 10 seconds left to go. Puck ends up with Ended right now, trying to run it up, and it ends up with a clear. 5 seconds left. That about seals this game here. Steezy! Buzzer beater! Why did I say that? Oh my god! Steezy coming through! Rebound off of Levy's head! What a game changer! Straight into OT! 6 points all! What on earth just happened there? Puck ends up back over with Levy. All players are a little bit confused. Sydney Gaffs looking to ice this one quick and get into the next game. Already immediately on the offensive right now. And those shots are finding their mark, but the defense from TSM is active and going right now. Puck ends up with Zemix getting it over to Levy. Some clean possession. Probably could have taken that one back a little bit and just tried to find some more lines to pass to. But the Sydney Gaffs are making good use of just their offensive pressure right now. Really forcing TSM into a honestly pretty clumped defense at the moment. Puck ends up with Levy looking for a pass over to Ended. Maybe a recenter over to Zemix. Not able to find it though. Steezy comes up with this one and is given a bit of an opportunity to work with it, but Ended and Zemix are just harassing him. Really limiting Steezy's mobility and options when it comes to getting the puck around the field. Puck ends up with Skits 1 minute into OT of the first game of tonight and Ended with the shot to ice the game. Levy over to Zemix with a cheeky board pass and just a lovely center. Ends in a very, very high quality shot there from Ended. Lovely stuff. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those statistics and give the Sydney Gaffs their well-deserved first point. To be completely honest, I was expecting this to be a little bit tighter. Well, sorry, I wasn't expecting this to be tight. I was expecting this to be a bit more of an advantage towards Sydney Gaffs at the moment, but the Super Muscle Boys are coming through and proving that they are in this game. 7 to 6 goals, 55% goal score success rate going to the Super Muscle Boys, but really lacking in that early possession there. 11 to 4 face-offs. And speaking of possession, in general they're lacking as well. 65% to 35%. Sydney Gaffs really dominant with the puck at the moment. In terms of takeaways, 35 to 18. So again, very dominant with getting that puck and maintaining that possession for the Sydney Gaffs. But that defense is coming in huge for the Super Muscle Boys at the moment, with 13 saves to 5. Speaking of using the field as well, I said something earlier about it, but Sydney Gaffs with 102 passes versus the Super Muscle Boys 30. What a game. What a game. Let's go ahead and just switch scenes back to here and see if we can find the next lobby that is up. I believe that it is already. But yeah, what a game. Just the passing plays, the movement of the puck, and just the pure intensity that was shown by both teams. That was incredible stuff. Sydney Gafs really just clawed their way out of that with a comeback. They were down early by a fair margin, a lot of points. It was something like 4 or 5. It was a very impressive comeback. But yeah, we'll move into this one. Super Muscle Boys going forward with Skits, Steezy, and Massive Legend. Mini appears to be in the bench right now. Zemix, Ended, and Levy, of course, going forward for the Sydney Gafs. Still no games from Amy, but at the same time, wasn't really expecting it anyway. Puck ends up with Levy at the moment. Skits with a good takeaway there. Ends up with Steezy, almost getting some early points, but Zemix just able to save that one. A lot of pressure being put on the Sydney Gafs at the moment, just in terms of just their positioning. Right now, TSM are really forcing them back behind goals at the moment. Doesn't really let TSM make any plays, but it really just helps put on a lot of stress for Sydney Gafs. Steezy at the moment trying to make something out of nothing there, and ends up overturning the puck back over to Massive Legend, actually. Ended trying to carry that one. Not able to get the movement off, though. Ends up with Skits. He's probably looking to find a line. Does go over to Massive Legend, but straight over his stick. Bit too high for Massive Legend to take that one. Ends up with him back down behind goals as well. Back down behind Sydney Gafs, sorry. Levy bringing this one up. Looking for a line over to ZMX. Good chance there, but again, another save by Steezy. Steezy's really pulling through, especially in the defense for the Super Muscle Boys. We know just how lethal his steps and puck control can be, but he is really making work in the defense tonight for the Super Muscle Boys. Steezy looking to get around ZMix and Ended using some of that individual just puck handling that I was talking about earlier, but just overturns possession, and it's just going back and forth again, clear after clear. Puck ends up with Skits going around to Steezy, maybe? Yes, we'll end up with Steezy. Looking for a step around Levy, and Zemix does get on one side of the both of them, but just no room. And Skits with the bodies clearing a line for Steezy. Oh, that was cruel. He just came in and batted him out of goals. I mean, what works, works. Puck ends up with Levy looking for a line over to Zemix, maybe. Not able to find it. Steezy with the puck. Bringing this one up on his own. Center ends up right with Ended. Ended looking for Zemix or Levy at the moment. Usually you don't see him in backplay too often, and that kind of reflects in that takeaway there by Skits. Levy trying to just keep some possession for Sydney Gafs at the moment. Really a lot of pressure being put on by the Super Muscle Boys. Skits with another takeaway. And back with Levy. Levy trying to, I'm guessing, make some space for the rest of his team, because they have a very compressed team at the moment right now. They need to get some wider passes off, but just with the positioning of the Super Muscle Boys and just how they're marking potential lines that Levy can pass to, it's just really making a lot of issues for Sydney Gafs at the moment. Puck ends up with Levy in the backfield, where Skits might try to pressure him a little bit. Ends up with Ended. Does find a good line. Steezy overturns to Zemix and almost gets a shot off, but Massive Legend in goals. It was pretty massive there, I'm not going to lie. Levy trying to get around Steezy at the moment. Does find Zemix, but overturns over to Skits. Skits trying to get that one away, but ends up with Ended running it down. Good center. Ends up with Skits again, going for a clear this time around. And Levy back in possession again. Over to Zemix. Zemix might be looking to pass over to Ended in just a second, but goes back. Some more rushing defense from the TSM is just really... It's just really pressuring them and forcing out plays that just wouldn't happen, or overall would be a net result towards the Super Muscle Boys. Either way, puck ends up with Steezy. Bit of an unorthodox pass there, bouncing straight off of a gaff, but either way, ends up with him. 2 steps, does get around 2, but overturns over to Ended with an opportunity, goes a bit wide, does almost sit back up for him. A Massive Legend is back down contesting with Ended. Ended getting this one over to Zemix. Zemix probably looking to play a bit wide here. Goes straight to Skits. With a minute left in this period and 1 point down, it's still a very doable game for Sydney Gafs. But TSM have a pretty big advantage. Well, not a big one, but they do have an advantage going into this next period. It all depends on whether or not Zemix can get this pass over to end. And no, goes back down to Levy with 30 seconds left to go. Still some time, probably 2 plays left for the Sydney Gafs. Somewhere around there. Ends up with ended again. Might have to go back here. 25 seconds left. They might be looking for a long shot in a bit. Who knows? Over to ended. 20 seconds left to go. Steezy comes up with this one. Steezy might actually be able to extend the lead here. Pass over to Skits. 13 seconds left on the clock. Going back down to Massive Legend. Massive Legend goes up for a clear and ends up with ended. With 7 seconds left on the clock. 5, sorry, now. Goes over to Zemix. Zemix might be able to find an angle. Not able to. Unfortunate. Levy, the time was just not on his side there. Almost managed to get a decent shot off from, funnily enough, behind goals. Just raking it forward, but not able to. Either way, Super Muscle Boys really just relying on high-quality defense at the moment and getting the puck to people who are in positions to use it. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like Steezy's joined in the game yet. Asking for Sydney Gafs to wait. Looks like that they will wait it out, though. Steezy isn't loading at the moment. Unfortunate stuff for TSM. But it is good to see that the Sydney Gafs are willing to restart the period. Oh, here we go. Steezy's back in. Do they keep playing, or what do they do? Looks like they're going to keep playing then. All good to go. Alright, interesting stuff. 2 interesting bugs in one night, it seems. Weird. Puck ends up with Levy right now, going over to Ended. Maybe looking for a good pass over to Zemix. Almost points again. Levy comes up with this one, though. Over to Zemix. Goes back down behind goals over to Ended, who will set this one back over to Levy. Not able to get clean possession right where he wanted it, though. Had to go back a bit. Ends up with Ended again. Zemix almost finding the line, but just narrowly missing. Steezy coming up with this one, looking to get around Ended. Ended, good pressure. Ends up with Skits having to take the shot. And Levy back in defense again. Huge in goals tonight. Ended at basically the center of the field. Gets a takeaway from Skits. Almost a shot off on goals. TSM are really just... They're pulling out all the stops tonight. They're really coming through, putting on a lot of pressure, moving the puck around and finding these lines and angles, and they're really forcing whoever's back in defense for Sydney Gafs to just stay in goals and be ready for whatever they have ready for them. Right now, Skits, whoa, almost in goals again. Levy just knowing to stay back in goals and pass over to Ended. What a moment there. Levy passing over to Ended, and it's pretty simple actually, but it is a pretty big turning point for the game, equalizing in a second period. Steezy and Levy contesting at the moment, and Skits coming in, just getting a touch off on that one. Harassing a little bit here and there, just making life just that little bit harder for Sydney Gafs. And again, there's a lot of plays on this one, and it ends up coming out for the Super Muscle Boys, where Massive Legend goes over to Skits, and not able to make the receive, ends up in Ended, going over to Zemix, but hits Steezy right on the head. Zemix does get around 2, but Massive Legend will come in and secure this for the Super Muscle Boys. Looking for a pass over to Steezy, setting that one up, and Levy, good stuff there. I probably would have owned goal that. Massive Legend going over to Steezy. Zemix, good intercept. Skits with a little clear, I guess. Again, it's just looking back at this game so far, this is a much lower scoring game than the last one. There's a lot less points going on. I think I think the Sydney Gafs might not have warmed up fully going into this one, because they are looking a lot more solid than they were in the first game when they had to just come back. They're looking a lot more reliable, and they're trusting in one another, making a lot more use of that full field that I was talking about, and just getting longer passes off rather than short, quick ones. They're playing the full field at the moment rather than, staying compressed or being back in defense. But a lot of that is really being made possible by some of these passes here from Levy. Really huge in the back play, both in defense and in offense. Just getting off a lot of those passes, starting those plays, and really just letting Zemix and Ended move to where they need to go. But again, Steezy and that have been huge. Steezy just, I'm going to be completely honest, he's been in goals a lot more than I would have expected him to be. And he's a lot higher quality a defender than I thought he was. Speaking of defenders, Ended comes in and crashes the net, okay. I was about to say what a nutty save there from Massive Legend. But again, it just goes straight back in front of goals, ready for Ended to crash that. Bit of a gaff moment. Either way, with a minute left to go in this period, Gafs are a point up now. This could be a pretty good lead for the Sydney Gafs at the moment, and a good sign for the remainder of this match. Massive Legend, unfortunate there, but Zemix just finds that line and forces it in. A little bit of luck there, but Massive Legend, unfortunate stuff. Yeah. That head bounce, you can't really outplay those easily. Levy overturning over the skits, maybe. No, does manage to run this one down. Gets around two. Steezy's the only one in defense at the moment. Levy trying to go to center here, or maybe back over to Ended. Does get it to Ended. Pressured by Steezy. Some good bumps there from Ended. Just trying to keep Steezy away, but it's not enough. Zemix having to buy some time, forcing Steezy to run back. Ended opportunity to pass over to Levy, just a little bit too wide. Levy sent this one over to Zemix, centering for himself, not able to get the line. Ends up with Ended. 15 seconds left to go. Goes around boards over to Steezy, it seems, and ends up with Zemix again. A lot of these shots are really just missing a little bit, going wide here and there. But it's still good progress for the Sydney Gafs at the moment. 3-1. Right now, their chances of going into the grand final are looking pretty decent, to be completely honest. 3-1 going into the third period. There is a lot of pressure being put on the Super Muscle Boys here to come through with a pretty solid clutch, I'd say, although nowhere near as sizable as the first time that Sydney Gafs were down. It's a bit of an easier comeback for them in that regard. 2 points down. It's doable within a single period. Very doable, but still a big struggle in a game as high level as this. Levy going over to Ended, not able to find the line. Going for some of those cheeky redirects here and there, but it's just not able to find some pretty difficult shots to pull off. Ends up with Steezy, who's just able to slot that one in easily. Levy almost guarantee wasn't expecting Steezy to be there, and Steezy just goes in and slots it. Good stuff there from Levy, just watching that line and taking it almost as if it were nothing. Unfortunate that Levy wasn't there in defense, but, you know, you've got to be ready for these kinds of things. Ended looking for a center over to Zemix, maybe overturns over to Massive Legend, it seems. Massive Legend looking for a pass over to Steezy, maybe. Ended fighting for the puck at the moment, and Zemix bats it back to the main man Levy in back play. Ended looking for a pass over to Zemix. Levy ends up with a clear back down to Levy, where he does come up with some good possession. Steezy caught out in play a little bit here. He won't be able to make a save. Oh, good pressure from Sydney Gafs, but Massive Legend back in goals takes that one like it was just easy. Like a champion. Like a legend, some would say. Massive Legend ends up going for a clear there, where Skits will contest with Levy, and might actually... No, never mind. He won't come up with the puck now. Puck ends up in the middle of the field where Zemix might be looking to crash it. Ends up with Levy getting close to goals there. Wasn't ready for that one to just appear on top of his stick there. But it ends up back with Zemix again. Going for a wrap, almost getting the line off. Not able to find the angle though. Super Muscle Boy is just barely back in defense for it. Puck ends up with Ended right now, going over to Levy. Levy almost loses possession to Steezy. And basically in front of goals too. That could have been a game-changing goal for the Super Muscle Boys there. But unfortunately, just not able to maintain that possession. But it's alright. Skits finds the bounce on Levy. 3 points all with 3 minutes to go. This is close. Never mind, Skits again! Skits coming through! Levy overturns just a little bit there. Steezy got a lovely bump in as well, just making it a bit easier for him. But Skits comes in and brings the Super Muscle Boys ahead. With 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go on the clock, Super Muscle Boys take the lead. Puck ends up with Levy, takes the shot straight through Massive Legend. Oh my word. Levy just holds it enough for Massive Legend to just down himself just that little bit. And the moment that he did, the shot went off. You could see in some of those movements there, Massive Legend was thinking, oh, should I come out? Should I stay? And the moment that he hesitated, boom, straight in goals. Puck ends up with Steezy at the moment. Has to go for a bit of a clear there. No good passing opportunities, but Skits rushing pressure right now. Levy does manage to get a good step around over to Zemix. Zemix might take the shot. Could have passed over to Ended, though. Oh, almost room for a play there. Levy over to Zemix, not able to find the mark. Looks like that Massive Legend backed off of that for some reason. Not confident or something. I don't know. Bit of a miscommunication there for the Super Muscle Boys. And Levy in defense. Again, coming in clutch for the Sydney Gafs right now. Levy's got to get some accolades from the boys in Sydney Gafs after this game. He has been absolutely massive. Just blocking off those lines, saving those shots, and most importantly, the reliable back play. He's been landing these passes like they are nothing. They look so easy to do just when he's got the puck. He's just finding these lines. He's doing laser passes, I swear to God. Puck ends up with Levy right now, looking for a way around Skits. Maybe going over to Zemix. No, goes over to Ended there. A little bit too wide this time around, but still Ended comes up with a little bit of possession there. Puck ends up back behind goals with Ended. Steezy kind of let Ended in on that one. Pass over to Zemix, trying to work around Steezy at the moment. Almost finds that narrow line. Ended going around over to Zemix, but Skits was there to intercept. Ends up in a clear and more clean possession for Levy. Steezy right now coming in on Levy. Ends up with the puck as well, but a good clear there by Ended forces Massive Legend to make a play at it. Goes over to Zemix. Zemix slotting it through. Ended almost able to crash the net there. Massive Legend big in goals again. This game is being won by defense, and there it goes. I should have said nothing. Massive Legend, just unfortunate, oversteps the puck a little bit there. Ending up with 40 seconds left to go. Sydney Gafs are up. 1 point though. The Super Muscle Boys do have an opportunity to come back here, but they've got to work back into it. With 30 seconds left to go, there's not a lot of time and not a lot of plays. Massive Legend going over to Steezy. Pretty reliable, but in these situations, he can't just expect him to make a play at it, you know? He's not a miracle worker. You got to give him something to work with. Massive Legend again with the puck. Looking for a line here. Takes the shot, hits posts, and Skits goes back down behind goals. That'll seal it. With a point in the lead, Sydney Gafs take the second game in this best of 3 and do take home the dub. That's it, boys. It's confirmed. Sydney Gafs versus FPS Grand Final. What a game that'll be. GG's being chucked around by all players right now. Still good to see that everybody is happy with the result and just, you know, all in all, just being good sports. Either way, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of these statistics. Another tight game here tonight. Another very tight game. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. Right now, goal score success rate, Muscle Boys, again, higher up in that goal score success rate, 44% to 31%. With face-offs 11-1, Sydney Gafs really favoured in that early possession once more. And again, using that whole field to their advantage, 82-29 passes, Sydney Gafs were dominant there. Going over to the shots, a bit more offensive pressure by the Sydney Gafs as well, 16-9. But in saves, Super Muscle Boys do take the lead. That's good for their defense, but you know, they had a lot of pressure being put on them. So that could also be something to take away from that as well. In terms of, speaking of takeaways actually, 34-22, Sydney Gafs up as well. Just Huge possession as well. Sydney Gafs are up on basically every statistic here tonight, except for goal score success rate, but that's just because of the number of shots that they actually had and the offensive opportunities. Either way, a good game played by Sydney Gafs and the Super Muscle Boys, taking it right down to the line, especially in that first game, going straight into OT right off of the bat. Sydney Gafs do get into the grand final after this one. Very good stuff. Very good stuff indeed. Well, congratulations to the Sydney Gafs. You'll be going up against FPS Slappers, led by Boppy. We'll go ahead and take a look at the rest of their team. Led by Boppy with Josh and Chim. So that will be a very good showdown between these two teams. Sydney Gafs will be coming in with that experience. Meanwhile, FPS, the new kids on the block, will really be coming through to show their stuff. You know, just get out on that field and prove to the Sydney Gafs that they can put up a very good fight against them. Which, honestly, I think that they will be able to. Speaking of a good performance, Super Muscle Boys, I honestly was expecting this to be a bit more favoured to Sydney Gafs. Like, in the end, the match score 2-0 to Sydney Gafs. Probably how I kind of expected it, but at the same time, going down, and if you look into those games, it was back and forth. It was a very, very tight contest. Super Muscle Boys going up points, going down points. It was very, very impressive. All right, either way, I think I'll go ahead and put a cap on this stream now. Thank you very much to everybody that came around and watched this. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one, which will be the grand final for Pro League, the final mid-season game for the OSL Season 11. So that is pretty big. That is a pretty big one. Make sure that you come by and watch that. There'll be an announcement put out sooner or later when the actual date for it gets scheduled. But, you know, we'll see when that comes around. We'll see when that comes around. Either way, once more, thank you to everybody for coming through. Congratulations to Sydney Gafs. And I will see everybody in the next one.